inspired by everything. You know, it's not like I'm someone that sits and says, you know, I want to go and watch a runway show to know what's hot this season. I feel like I get things brought to me and shown to me, and something inside of me tells me this is hot, and whatever it is, I own it. You know, and I get, you know, I get it. People aren't going to like everything, but I like it if you can either love it or hate it. I don't like it if it's in between. Okay. I want it to be something so weird that you're like, what? Or, yes, you know.
I love people. It's not the fashion. It's the people in fashion I love.
What's up, y'all? It's your boy Brose here, and I'm back with the new video. So today we're doing analyzing the eras on Nicki Minaj. So now let's get into her style evolution. So let's talk about her mixtape era slash early slash Young Money. And I would say this is from 2004 to 2009. And I kind of bunched these two together because I would say the style was definitely the same during this time. Nicki really initially embraced a lot of simplistic styles, kind of like around the way hood girl, you know, tighted shirts, nice jeans, long acrylic nails, and you know, the wet and wavy hair, which is mostly her natural hair, but it was wet and wavy, straight. But she kind of just embodied that. And then, you know, later during that time, I guess around 2007, she started to add the pink underlaying of the hair. She used to wear playful accessories like bangles, just like different jewelry. Kept a little mini bag. She used to love wearing baby fat, you know, and just, you know, sometimes rocking even fitted hats. So it was very like a round-the-way type of girl. And as time went on, from the early 2000s into the late 2000s, her style started to morph into like more of a video vixen slash pinup girl look, just to attract that sexual appeal that a lot of female rappers before her kind of did. I think a lot of the times in this specific era, a lot of people wanted her to be some other female rappers that came before her, like Foxy Brown and Lil' Kim. They wanted her to be that, but I feel like she wanted just to be herself. So she was kind of battling, trying to be herself, but also people who was managing her, and you know, other celebrities wanted to be her to be someone else when she was just wanted to be her. And I feel like that's unfortunate for a lot of people coming up in industries alike, that they always compare you to somebody else or want you to be the next this instead of letting you to be who you are. I would say this era was probably her most toned down era in terms of style wise, but I also feel like it was kind of underrated because it kind of set the foundation of who she was, and it birthed two iconic looks that she's kind of known for, which was the black and pink hair, and then, you know, the tight shirts while showing your bra. And I know that style has been done, but she kind of coined it and made it her own. She officially emerged on the scene as a solo artist in around like 2007 from mixtapes like Playtime Is Over, Sucker Free, Beat Me Up Scotty, and just her rawness and her raps kind of reflect that, her staying true to like a New York style. She was really trying to find her style during this time. That's why you kind of got a picture of this and mixture of that and mixture of this, and it can even be reflected in her music too as well. I feel like at the core she knew who she was, but as an image, as an artist, she was still developing, and I think she just had a lot of people in her mind because of she was like dressed one way and then she looked different this time and this time and this time, which was cool too. But you just like, who is Nicki Minaj as an image, if that makes sense? I mean, this was kind of like, was cool for Nicki. Like, it wasn't like where she was trying to become a style icon or she was known as like a fashion maven. She was just like, you know, she was dressing to show off her curves and, you know, focusing more on her rap skills. So let's then transfer to the Pink Friday era, and I think this is when we kind of figure out who Nicki Minaj was and what was her image during this time. So, and this era is from 2010 to 2012, but with the release of her debut album, her style became more flashy and over the top.
Is my first album cover. Album name, Pink Friday. This is one of the most important shoots I've ever done. What we were going for in this shoot was trying to make me look like a big Barbie doll. Once I saw the photo, I loved it, but I wanted the dress to be like more poofy. I kept on saying, oh my God, it's not poofy, poofy, poofy. They go, oh, well, let's just draw the extra lace on behind you. We did it. And that's the beauty of some of the best photo shoots, is that you don't know what the heck you're gonna get, and then you leave with something more gorgeous, beautiful, and iconic.
It began with, really bright colors, very campy style, and like Howard Drucker inspired style, which consisted of, pink wigs, neon color wigs, orange, like all of the spectrums. It has sometimes having dramatic makeup, bright pink lips, lipstick. This is where she kind of developed her alter ego Roman, which kind of showed up in her style and her over-the-top style. She kind of transitioned from, natural looking hair and wigs and weaves to transfer into just mostly wigs, from pink to green to orange, again, white, neon colors, and the style was kind of over the top a little bit. Chinese bangs was definitely her signature point, whether it was in a bob style, long style, bangs was just mostly her thing. During this era, she loved fashion. She loved designers like Versace and Christian Louboutin. And looks from this period also included bodysuits and kind of like flashy dresses a little bit when she would go on red carpets.
Right here.
I just felt like I wanted to, represent Carnival. Shout out to Trinidad. This is Manish Aurora, and I don't know, it just feels festive.
And of course, this is where her stardom kicked off. So she was featured in various magazines, from Vibe to Fader to Black Men, Excel, Out, Billboard. So she was kind of touching different sectors, from hip hop area to pop to the gay community to she was just covering everything. And she was kind of transitioning from the sexy video vixen pinup girl that she was in 2008, 2009 to this more so flamboyant style character of Nicki Minaj. That's what a lot of people started to really like about her, because not only she was an amazing rapper, but her outside personality was interesting as well, just as much as her rap skills. Your image is amazing, but sometimes as a person, you want to get to know who the artist is, or or be at least infatuated with their personality. So some other highlights during this era I would definitely say is in November 2010, she collaborated with MAC Cosmetics and launched the lipstick Pink for Friday, which was sold out for 4 consecutive Fridays to promote her debut studio album Pink Friday. So she was already in her early career getting brand deals. Her music and her image was kind of going toe to toe, and she wasn't just a quote unquote female rapper. She actually had brand deals as well. And also a big moment in that next year in 2011, Mattel crafted a Barbie doll with the avatar of Nicki Minaj, who was inspired by the likeness of Charity, which she described as a major moment in her career, because during this time, calling herself Barbie as well. She also was, still getting into beauty as well, because, that was her image, just over the top beauty. So she created a 6-piece nail polish collection for OPI products, which colors are named after the various songs. Later in 2011, her stardom was getting bigger, so she was covering even bigger other publications and magazines that are kind of people are known as more mainstream. In other people's words, I just think they're more focused towards a different audience, if you get what I'm saying. But she was appearing on magazines such as V Magazine, Cosmopolitan, Rolling Stone, and Complex. So I would definitely say this era, you kind of get the foundation of Nicki, you kind of see who she's becoming. So let's move on to the Roman Reloaded era, and this is from 2012 to kind of 2013, I would say. So this era kind of showcased her style even more. I kind of feel like she took this style up a notch. Definitely was incorporating more styles of fantasy, campy and dramatic. She often adorned extravagant outfits, and she kind of tapped into her haute couture bag with different gowns and avant-garde pieces. Whether you liked it or not, she was always talked about fashion-wise. So you can't hate on somebody who's being talked about. Wouldn't you rather be talked about than just ignored? But hey, she would wear more lace wigs in this era. She kind of was getting rid of the bangs.
It's on my mood. I stopped wearing black hair because it made me feel depressed. And when I would look in the mirror wearing pink hair or blonde hair, I would get this burst of excitement. So, when I'm in a great mood, I wear the brightest hair, and I kind of bring that mood where I go.
Again, this style was just influenced by anime-ish a little bit. Again, Harajuku theme, even Hello Kitty. She appeared on a lot of fashion magazines. This time a little bit more like New York Vibe, Allure, Elle, Marie Claire's, and Teen Vogue. And some like definitely big moments happened during this era. She developed amazing partnership with MAC Cosmetics, so that she kind of launched her own range of lip products for MAC Viva Glam. She also getting sponsorship from design brands like Adidas. Nicki signed an endorsement deal with Adidas for the brand's fall and winter 2012 campaign to appear in internet advertisements and commercials for Adidas Originals. People were starting to notice her more in her fashion era too. Also in 2012, she launched her first line of fragrance. So she already was solidifying her being a businesswoman with MAC, getting into the fashion game with Adidas. Now she was trying to touch other parts of the industry like fragrances. So then fast forward in 2013, you really start to see her rocking more blonde, platinum blonde than anything. That was really becoming her signature. She was moving away from the pink wigs and the different color wigs. She still would incorporate them, but she was moving more towards the blonde. Blonde was becoming her signature. But on various occasions she would tap back into with the pink hair and the different colors, but blonde, you will mostly see her in blonde. Now, she got her fashion bag even more by introducing the Nicki Minaj collection for Kmart, composed of clothing, accessories, and houseware. This was kind of just her to do a fashion line where it was affordable for our fans, because at the time she had really young fans, still do, but they were like really young and they're like teen, preteen, so she just wanted to create a brand for them that they would be able to afford.
I like being able to mix and match things and not just kind of being stuck in one thing. So I did a lot of pieces that could kind of switch over and create new looks depending on how you accessorize it. So it's really sexy, it's fun, it's easy to wear, they're really comfortable pieces. They fit pretty much all body types too, which was really important for me.
And then throughout 2014, Minaj released different collections of the collection from spring, summer, and fall themed clothes. And we also can't forget the fashion era in 2013 when she was on American Idol. I feel like still to this day, that was some of the best she ever looked. You know, during 2013, she kind of toned her style down a little bit to more of a simplistic look, I would say. You could see she was kind of about to transition into a more toned down look. She had the Roman Reloaded, the expanded version of Roman Reloaded, the re-up. So that already passed in 2012. So in 2013, she was not on a hiatus because she was still working in movies and things like that, and then doing American Idol, but her fashion kind of toned down. And yeah, she was leaving the Harajuku look and going to more of a grown and sexy look in 2013, which was kind of like a precursor of what we're going to see in the next era. So let's go to the pink print era. Now, this is from 2014 to 2016, I would say. And this is showcase a mixture of bold femininity and high fashion influences, reflecting her personal style and artistic growth. A lot of the elements during this time was sophisticated silhouettes. She opted for very structured, form-fitting outfits, and that were more tailored to her body and bodycon dresses in a sense, combining elegance with a touch of edginess in a way. As she still experimented with dramatic tones and textures, she was still incorporating animal print as well. She wore a lot of high-impact accessories too. Her love of chains, her love of jewelry. You know, she kind of stripped the wigs and did more natural looking hairstyles and incorporated her natural hair, whether it was ponytails, bobs, middle parts, big hair. She was still willing to experiment, but in a more toned down way without the flashy makeup and things like that.
I'm very excited. I think, I based my career off of emerging fashion and music, so I'm really excited to be here. I think once I have music, I do tend to try to dress like the music, but I think recently I've just been doing a lot of toned back looks and keeping it more chic, more grown and sexy.
You know, and you start to see a lot of her streetwear elements as well. Often pairing, you know, have high fashion pieces. So you'll see her, you know, walk in with, you know, just regularly, but have a Birkin bag with her, like, you know, wearing Chanel on a regular day, or Moschino walking through the airport. You know, she was really a full-fledged superstar, appearing on Fader again, Billboard, Dazed magazines, showcasing her natural look, Rolling Stone, and Loom of Vogue. I honestly feel like this era is when Nicki should have got her first Vogue cover, but that's just my opinion. Still in that era, she was still, you know, in her bag, fashion-wise. She was the face of Roberto Cavalli's campaign for spring, summer in 2015, and which was at the time a big deal. 2016 wasn't my favorite era of fashion for Nicki. Overall, the pink, this era kind of just represented her fashion sense, her balancing glamour with more sophisticated look. She was older now, so she was in her grown and sexy era, to say the least. So now we enter the Queen era. So during this time, Nicki embraced a more mature aesthetic again. From 2017 to 2019, often opted for a sleek, sophisticated silhouettes again, and her hairstyles became more bolder, and she was kind of bringing back colors again. And this is where she introduced the infamous 40 inches.
Attention! This is how bad bitches leave London and go to Prague. You put the kitty to spell Prague.
And kind of coined it for herself. So in 2017, she released 2 lipsticks called Nicki Nudes and the Pink Print, named after her third studio album in collaboration with MAC, so still collaborating with them. And in November 2017, she starred in an H&M holiday commercial along with Anna Ewers and Jesse Williams and more other stars. So some fashion moments I loved during this era is when she rocked braids. Oh, she looked amazing. She wore this glittering silver bodysuit. Also, when she went to the CFDA Awards in New York.
Bit of avant-garde.
Whenever I think of avant-garde, I always think about the big daring stuff.
Yes, that's
stuff,
who you are.
The stuff that, you know, doesn't conform.
Yes, and that's what you are.
Yeah.
And I also like when she wore this Roberto Cavalli couture evening dress with lace patchwork with a deep V neckline. And don't forget the controversial when she was at the Hader Ackerman show with the low cut black Mugler top that the left breast completely exposed with one diamond shaped pasty over it. Now this is so controversial because, you know, she had a misunderstanding with another female rapper, and, you know, the female rapper was the first to wear that, so that was like a big controversial thing. But yeah, but I liked it. I like the top. I wish they would have I wish she would have had a different bottoms with that. And also, just during this time, she had a beef with another female rapper, so there was a lot of that going on. And I think that's when it kind of developed like a hate train. So she was dealing with that, but gearing up for a new album. Also, the No Frauds video, styled perfectly. From the red dress to the moment when she was in the alley. So let's move on to 2018. She appeared alongside Gucci Mane, Bella Thorne, and others in the campaign for the Italian brand Diesel Haute Couture collection, where she also co-designed her in a denim jacket called Bad Guy, because she was kind of owning the bad guy term. She also appeared on her first Vogue cover with Vogue Arabia, and she was on Elle again in Harper's Bazaar Russia. This era was a lot for Nicki. I was not a huge fan of this era, fashion-wise, but I did like her attitude during this era. And she spoke into existence the Fendi prints on, because in 2019, she announced a collaboration with luxury house Fendi Chief Executive Officer Serge Brunswick. They did the brand shares a great affinity with her, Nicki Minaj, and represents a fun aspect of the brand, and just the collaboration between the two made sense. The capsule of the collection was called Fendi Prints On, after the song she released in 2018 with Chun-Li. So that was a big moment. Like, I don't think no rapper, well, specifically female rapper, had a collaboration with a big brand like that. So shout out to Nicki for doing that. So now we go into our quick hiatus era. You know, she wasn't really making that much music. So this era was more so focusing about herself. Also during this, she got pregnant and had a baby. By this time, she had 4 albums. Got out of a long-term relationship with one guy, then got out of another relationship with another rapper, with another. So she finally, this era, she found her husband. She got married. And she was really focused on that. The fashion era between this time was kind of like better than the last couple of years. She was rocking a lot of monochrome looks. And these were just going to the clubs or just going out or just making appearances. She just looked really good. It was really refreshing to see her this good because I feel like the previous era, she looked good, but you could tell she was going through a lot personally and in the music industry. So that was a short era. I really don't have any like big moments because she wasn't really out. She was just behind the scenes, but she was looking good though. So let's enter this last era, which is from 2022 to present day, and this is her Pink Friday 2-Pink Friday 3 ... because she says she may release the album soon. So in this year, she continued to evolve. Nicki was balancing bold statement with real refined looks. She was collaborating with luxury designers by this time and embracing glamour and comfort. She's also was mixing, different hairstyles. So she was still keeping a playful edge with her wigs and her over-the-top things. The big moments that happened this era was in March 2022. She was fronted the campaign of Heaven for the Spring 22 collection by Marc Jacobs. She also spoke on a venture that was supposed to happen where Kanye, aka Ye West, they discussed to do her own version of the Yeezy sneaker because of her impact, but due to at the time he was married to Kim Kardashian, he realized that it probably wouldn't be fair to give Nicki Minaj work with Nicki Minaj for Yeezys instead of Kim Kardashian, which I understand too. Could have just did both, in my opinion.
Told Kanye about that. I was like, hey, look, I'm about to do something. And I just wanted to make sure I spoke to you first, because I have so much respect for him. And he was like, well, if I did something with you, I don't think, I think my wife, it wasn't during this time, it was a while ago. He was like, my wife probably wouldn't love that idea because I should be giving that to my wife instead,
Also, in May that year, in 2022, she was the new creative director of American's Men's magazine Maxim and become the global ambassador and advisor for Maxim Bet, which was a sports betting brand launched by the magazine. I would say that her biggest fashion moment this year was, at the VMAs, where she wore the Dolce & Gabbana look to accept one of her awards, and then when she wore this custom Burberry look. So that was pretty much it for that year. But the next year, 2023, Nicki had some good moments. Appeared on her first American Vogue cover. She also released her fragrance Pink Friday 2, and she released her album named Pink Friday 2 as well. And she looked amazing because she hosted the VMAs. Every look from here looked good, from the pink Barbie bridal look number or when she was performing in this lace number with the 40-inch bust down. And now in 2024, Nicki is, kind of just living off her legacy and as a rap goat and creating more moments.
Someone told me years ago, when you get to a certain age, you're going to be so happy. The things that you used to worry about and think about and care about, you won't anymore. You'll have this confidence. And I said, no, I was sweating the small stuff, so to speak, So that confidence, when you turn a certain age, I feel like when you turn 30, 40, 50, I think like milestone ages, right? Especially for women, your confidence just grows and grows and grows. And also, this is true and every woman knows it. You also know what looks good on your body. You start knowing what looks like what hairstyle fits your face, what makeup fits your face. You just start understanding yourself better.
But she still is expanding her brand fashion-wise as well. She and the British apparel brand Locky released a sneaker collection, and which is the Nicki Minaj investor and a co-owner of the brand. Also in 2024, she also launched her personal nails, which are vegan and cruelty-free, and it was launched by DTC via the web store and later available. It's now on Shopify. So she's in the nail game, she's in the sneaker game again, and you know, she's still doing big things in fashion. She also recently attended the panel at Forces in Fashion discussing her impact on fashion. Oh, and of course, she had the Pink Friday tour, so she's wearing a lot of custom Gucci and some other elements that she did too. But yeah, I just can't wait to see what Nicki does in fashion and in music and how she kind of brands it too as well. And I also want to see some more visuals from her too to see how her fashion is in the visual standpoint, because she hasn't really given any visuals since Super Freaky Girl. Overall, Nicki Minaj fashion is just a true reflection of her artistry and where she's at in the moment. Shout out to Nicki. Can't wait to see what she does. And that was all, folks, for analyzing the eras for Nicki Minaj. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, and share, and let me know what you think about this video or the different fashion moments that Nicki had or the ones that I missed. And I'll see y'all in my next one. And let me know which one y'all want me to do next. I'm thinking about Mary J. Blige or Michael Jackson. Or somebody else. So who knows? Alright, y'all. I'll see you on my next one. Peace!
Me and told me that someone wanted me to be their date for New York Fashion Week for 3 shows. And I was like, oh, okay. Turns out to be some really influential lady in fashion. Her name was Anna Wintour. Yeah, they really needed me there to sit next to her, you know? I mean...